Hello, welcome to IGTV. This is your special look ahead to the coming week, starting the 29th of January. And what an exciting week it's going to be, not only punctuated by central banks and economic data, but also earnings. Let's start with the economic diary first. We've got French GDP and Eurozone GDP growth rate too, and the economic sentiment. Out of the US, look out for the JOLTS job openings and also consumer confidence. A little later on in the week, as I mentioned earlier, we've got a lot of data out of Asia as well. We got manufacturing services PMIs out of China, Australia out with CPI, and Germany with its growth rate as well. From the US, look out for the ADPs, the EIA crude oil inventory report, and of course, the interest rate decision too. And then on Thursday, it's all about the Eurozone and the UK. We're looking out for consumer price index out of the Eurozone. And the Bank of England is out with its interest rate decision, expected to stay pat. However, what it says about inflation and sticky inflation, like many major economies are finding, will be key as to the timing. Bank of England, one of the banks expected to remain on hold for longer than most think. In the US, we got initial jobless claims as well. And on Friday, look out for that all-important non-farm payrolls, which will drive market sentiment. And boy, is market sentiment, especially in stocks, buoyant at the moment. Now, it's a big week for earnings as well, starting with Philips out with fourth quarter earnings, along with Ryanair out with its Q3s. And then midweek, look out for Diageo, Pfizer, General Motors, Advanced Micro Devices, Microsoft, Alphabet, and UPS as well. It's going to be a big week for the magnificent seven, or some call the mighty seven. H&M, GSK, Novartis, BoE, and Qualcomm punctuate the state of play on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, look out for Shell, BT, Deutsche Bank, Apple, Peloton, Meta platforms. You can find a report on that on the IG website from Chris Beecham. As you know, he's done a full analysis and previewing Meta's earnings. And of course, Amazon is the big whopper on Thursday. Then on Friday, Chevron and Exxon Mobil join Shell in the earnings parade. Let's cross over now to Bat, who's standing by for us in Chicago. Bat, such a momentous week out there. Let's start with the equity markets first. I mean, it's been such a melt-up, confounding so many analysts out there and investors too. Doesn't seem like anything is shocking the markets or shaking it at the moment.
Yeah, you said it well. It certainly is a melt up. I mean, what can you say about a market that's at record highs and makes record highs every day, but ever so slightly, right? To coin your phrase, that melt up type of mentality the market has. You know, when it looks like it's going to turn, it certainly turn lower. It certainly doesn't and continues to go higher. Volatility is the other side there. It is flatlining. Volatility cannot get out of its own way these days. Volatility remains low, market remains high. That's a typical pattern in the market. That's what you would want to see.
And at the same time, we're seeing nothing shake sentiment at the moment. It seems quite unhinged. I mean, we had Intel out with disappointing outlook. We had Tesla as well, shocking the market. What is it going to take for some sort of correction?
Yeah, you know, you watched Tesla come out with its earnings and the stock got hammered outside of its expected move to the downside. You watched NVIDIA do well to the upside. It seems like the stocks are just being treated like individual stocks and not affecting the overall market. You have a stock like BoE that continues to get bad news and gets punished for that bad news, but doesn't affect the overall market. It seems like for now, cautiously optimistic in the U.S. market.
And just very quickly, a huge week for earnings. I mean, some of the key ones that I mentioned earlier, Amazon. What are we likely to hear from those big giants in the coming week?
Wow. I mean, Amazon, it seems like it hasn't had a downtick. Anytime it has had a downtick in its stock, it's been met with buying. I would expect them to come out with wonderful news. I mean, but the news is going to have to be great. They're really going to have to spin the forward guidance on this stock that's at all-time highs too.
All right, thank you very much. I'm sure we'll have plenty to discuss when all those earnings are out next week. Anthony Batista there from Tasty Live, part of IG Group from Chicago. And that's your latest look ahead to the coming week. This is IGTV.